Hello, friends and neighbors, and welcome to a special edition of Ray and Benny Talk Sports. We've been blessed to have some great Winnipeg Blue Bombers, CFLers, and NFLers of the past, and we have a great one that y'all been asking for. Great cornerback, DB in the NFL and CFL, and of course, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Jerron Bolden. Thank you so much for joining us.
Man, thanks for having me, guys. I'm excited. I'm looking at that beautiful picture in the background, man. The old, hey, listen, there we go, baby.
Yeah, that was a good
stadium,
time,
baby.
Yeah. I remember when you made your return in 2007. Mm-hmm. I was working on the field crew, and I was holding the list of players who were coming out, and they saved your name for last.
Yeah.
And other than when Milt broke the touchdown record, that's probably the biggest pop I've heard in that stadium. The biggest ovation when you came out of the helmet. Wow. Do you remember that day?
I remember that game. That was, that I almost got somewhat emotional. Just knowing the amount of love that I got from Winnipeg. That was beautiful, and I was so excited. Almost too excited. I thought I almost cramped up coming out of the doggone tunnel.
You came out with a lot of energy for sure.
Oh man, yes, man. But I even back in the days, I always said before I completely retired, I will always come back to Winnipeg just to finish my career. And didn't end like I really wanted to, but hey, we got to the Grey Cup. Unfortunately, couldn't play. But at the same time, hey, every time I played with Winnipeg, we was in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true.
You're a beast on that back end for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, you weren't here for a long time, but you left a lasting impression on the city and the fans for sure.
Man, listen, being a 19-year-old kid coming up there to Winnipeg and just seeing how the city embraced me, gave me my first shot at playing professional sports. So I was overwhelmed. I was very, very grateful for the opportunity. Good old Coach Cal Murphy, Ray, rest in peace. Great guy. But it was him and Coach Barrows, Donnie Burrell, Coach Burrell gonna kill me. Donnie Burrell, they was very hands-on with me and getting things started for me, man. And like I said, I got to go with Big Gerald Wilcox, he'd help me on it as well. I had a great group of guys, KD and I, my cousin KD Williams, coming from Tampa, we were both there, young, fresh out of, and those guys just welcomed us like we was baby brothers, and we took off. We took off, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you had a pretty interesting path to get to the CFL, then to the NFL. As far as I know, you had a workout, and I guess the Bombers saw you at this workout, and then you ended up in Winnipeg, right? What were your thoughts and impressions of coming to Winnipeg? Did you know anything about Winnipeg beforehand or anything?
In all honesty, I didn't know too much about Canadians football. I really didn't. I was just fortunate enough to be at my college. It was funny that the Bombers had a workout at my college, and junior college at that. And I'm looking at the guys, saying, I guess you call it my arrogance or whatever. I don't know. I was looking at them, and I'm like, man, I'm faster than this guy. I'm faster than that guy. I look better than that guy doing this. And these are guys that's been playing college football for 45 years, and here they are still trying to live their dream. And I'm just seeing that my athletic ability was like either, right on the same cusp or a little bit more superior to some of them. And then KD had to work out there, and he was like, man, all these guys out here, the fastest guy is sitting up there in the stands. And, because I didn't realize KD was there till the second day. And next day, KD was telling Cal and a couple of other scouts that guy there. And then they told me if I ever tried to work out, because I got excited. He said, you work out, you forfeit your college career. I was like, well, that's fine with me. That was okay with me at the time. So I was fortunate enough to get out there, work out. Sorry about that, guys. Tom Brady's coming back now. We
were just talking about that.
We getting a little excited down here. ESPN going off in the background. Sorry about that. But we had I got a chance to go out there, run, and did a couple one-on-one drills. And next day, they told me, you'll be in Winnipeg. You'll be in Winnipeg. You're not going back to Tampa. I was in Winnipeg from February all the way until the season started.
Wow.
So that was crazy. That's the beginning of my CFL and NFL career.
And what were your impressions when you landed in Winnipeg? You kind of got to see the city and
well, it was cold. That was
Yeah.
cold. That's what it was all about. It was
About right.
cold. It was, but I was at the old Viscount Hotel. That's why they put me up at. We was there. And just seeing this city, I was trying to get adapt to it. You got to realize, being from Tampa, Florida, now I'm up here in all this snow. And yeah, I wasn't too excited. I was like, I hope the season, it was telling me, no, the season's going to start in June, which was my birthday month. And I was like, great, no more cold. Yeah. But man, it was very frigid out there. And then the guys around, Earl Brown. If you guys remember Earl Brown, he played DB, role number 3. Earl, for whatever reason, they kind of got Earl to be like my mentor while I was in the city. I got around his family. I started getting out, meeting a lot of people, doing different promos with the team. And it was starting to get pretty, I was adapting quickly. So the city embraced me even before I was even on the team, So next thing you know, we back in training camp, and that's where all the magic started. I started realizing that, yes, I'm still a kid because there was still some great talent out there. I need to learn how to play the position of cornerback, which I never played prior to starting with Winnipeg. Wow. I was a safety and I played running back. So I was like, well, how to play corner? I didn't know what to do, but I learned pretty quickly. And those guys allowed me to, mature and do what I need to do out there.
Nice.
We're going to jump. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I just say that's interesting because, with the CFL, you got wide receivers moving all over the place and all that. And that's where the first of all, you're starting to learn the position.
Well, I told them that I was yelling there was offsides, illegal motion. I kept yelling at this legal motion. What's going on?
Not here.
And then, it was just so comical, that everybody just dropped their head. They'd be like, this kid or something. He's so raw. You just don't understand it. And so, hey, that's all
You learn.
I learned quick because they kept throwing me in the fire. I guess they saw the talent and they was like, man, you can play this position. And they kept me outside at the beginning of the, beginning of my career there because that's all. I guess they just felt I was going to be a cornerback. And next thing you know, I played that season. I kept having shoulder issues, and the shoulder popped out a couple of times during the games, and got a couple of picks here and there. I was feeling pretty good about where I was going, and then I guess Cal Murphy's at the time, the guys in the front office was like, okay, that's enough, and they shut me down. And next thing you know, we worked out a deal with. Here down south with the Falcons, or not necessarily the Falcons at the time, but whoever's going to draft me. And I went through the draft, and there it is, the beginning of it all.
Yeah. You talk about cold weather when you come to Winnipeg. We're going to skip a few years and go to the NFL and playing in Green Bay in that legendary. I think Green Bay had a undefeated playoff at home.
Yeah.
Until Atlanta came in. I remember watching that game. Me and Benny were watching that game. Then we went to party at the club. We were happy to see Green Bay lose. But tell us about the vibes of that game.
Listen, well, I tell you what, we played in the first game of the season that year. And we lost to them in overtime. Mm-hmm. So, our morale was up when we knew we was playing Green Bay. It's no shot at Green Bay. I know that a lot of people say they kind of limped into the playoffs with a lot of injuries, but we were healthy. We was right. We was on a high, man. And we wasn't fearful of Green Bay. We weren't fearful of the moment. When you got someone as electrifying as Mike Vick, at the quarterback position, every game we played, we felt we were going to win. We just knew one team that year always had our number, and that was Tampa. Tampa just had our number for whatever reason. They just matched up and, not really matched up. They just overshadowed us because that defense was unbelievable with Tampa. But going in Green Bay, the wind chill, it wasn't as bad. I guess Canada, hey, they got me used to it. They've got me used to that cold. I'm no sleeves, baby. I was out there no sleeves.
Yeah.
And man, we just from the first play, man, we was like, this is our game. We just felt that it was our game. Vic just started off. We were cocky that game. We just felt they weren't good enough because we felt we should have beat them the first game of the season. And we didn't realize what we had done. The first team to ever beat Green Bay in the playoffs. And we was like, wow. And if you watch that season wrap-up preview, and in that game, you'll see me saying, we're not here by mistake. And we weren't here by mistake. We had some tough trials trying to get the team together. And we finally hit it. We hit it and we kept running with it. And now we in the history books. I'm in the history books, man. I feel good about that,
Yeah, that was amazing.
Man, that's just to see. But I will tell you this: playing against Green Bay up there, that is by far one of the most exciting places on prime time that you would ever want to play. I mean, just that frozen tundra, and I mean, it's something about Green Bay. It's real football when you're playing in that stadium. So I will salute those fans, even though I did get a brief stint in Green Bay in my career, but those fans are something remarkable. It made me feel like I was back in the peg, to be honest.
Nice. Yeah. Midwest, similar temperature, similar type of folks.
Oh, yeah. A lot of cold.
Yeah, a lot. Hey, man, we've lived here our whole life, and this winter's been brutal, and still can't get used to it. So
I think the latest I stayed in Winnipeg was probably, it was so cold. I can't even remember the temperature out because we had to reschedule the plane for another day. I mean, I was like, come on, man. I got to get home, man. I need some sunshine. I need to thaw out, man.
Mother Nature's undefeated. She's undefeated.
She is undefeated. Undefeated.
Big time.
I tell you that. I just keep glancing back over your shoulder, man, and look at that field, man. I tell you, it's wow. It's amazing. I recall getting that interception in the playoffs, man, taking it to the house and closing out.
That sideline. The sideline right here. I remember that. Yeah,
man. We gave it. That's when we gave it to Danny McManus. Yes.
Yeah.
The Hamilton Ticats. Yes, I remember that. I got to find that film, man.
It's on YouTube.
It's got to be there somewhere.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I kind of miss is that I don't have a bunch of film or a lot of our games when I played up in Winnipeg, and I always told guys when I went back the first time, not before 2007, I want to say 2000 and 2001, when I had Dave Ritchie as the head coach.
Yeah.
When they developed me to play that inside the halfback position. Wow, that was something. Just to have those group of guys, that's especially my boy Lamar McGriggs. That was my room, and that's Lamar, my brother right there.
3'6".
Then listen, one of the hardest working guys when it comes to being in between them lines, man. So much respect, and I was fortunate to have him as a roommate. So if I could catch up with him, if you guys see him, tell him I said what's up, man, and definitely get it. I know he's still up there somewhere in Winnipeg.
Well, we'll look out then.
Yeah.
That'd be a good interview.
Well, we'll get on there together. We could tell how he used to keep the house all cooked up and smelling good in there. And I used to keep the windows open when it was like frigid as heck outside.
Well, why don't you keep telling us about that 2001 team?
Yeah.
Obviously, disappointment come the end of the year in the Grey Cup, but you were such a force, both sides of the ball. What do you remember about that team? What was the vibe around that locker room?
That we were the best team. No disrespect to anyone we saw. We felt that we were the best team. We had a phenomenal offense. Our offense, I mean, I think we definitely was the number one defense that year. We definitely was number one defense. We just felt we matched up great with anybody. Let me lock on who's supposed to be the best receiver, and you guys go to work behind me, and let's go to. And that's how we felt that we were better than anyone else. Again, unfortunately, Calgary had our number that day. That's our game. It's nothing they did. I guess it is. They scored one more touchdown we did, but it's 4 points that we did. But it was just nothing that we weren't ready for. It's just they executed. We didn't get things done on our end, and that game really took something out of me. Being so close. That was my first big time Super Bowl / Grey Cup appearance that I ever had. So I pride myself on being that guy to, put all the weight on my shoulders and let me bring us home type deal. And I felt I left some things out there, and that took something out of me. And I was very disappointed. Wear my emotions on the sleeve only off the camera, but in the locker room, man, it took a lot out of me. Teared up, felt like a little kid again. And I knew that it was time for me to move forward, go back down south and play. That's why it was so much. That's why I put so much into it. I wasn't coming off that field, even if I had to play in a wheelchair. I wasn't coming off that field. Love those guys. I still keep in contact with a few. I was in Houston last year. I just moved back down here to Florida. I was with Albert Johnson. Got a chance to see Albert Johnson out there. Brandon Hamilton, we got together. It's amazing how we sit back and think about what we did and how close we were and what type group we had. 2000 we was learning what we could do. We was just there, and then one or two more little small pieces. 2001, we felt we was going to do it. I really felt like we was going to be undefeated until I blew my knee out midway in the season and had to miss 4 games. And they still, in 4 games, I think we lost 2 or 3 and we won 1. But we wasn't worried about that.
Yeah.
Back healthy, back at it. We was going to be fine. But a great team. Kahari Jones, quarterback. Brian Aiyat was backing them up. All the good guys, what I'm saying? We probably had, matter of fact, Arlen Bruce. Yeah. Arlen Bruce. Brucey. That game right there, he was, Brucey easily could have been the guy. Milt was the guy. To me, Brucey could have been that guy. He was just still young and just getting right. But we just had a squad, man. We was fortunate. We were very fortunate.
That team was something else. It was so fun to watch. Especially after so many years of watching Bomber teams that weren't very good, late 90s. So when that team came, like you said, in 2000, it was getting there. And then 2001, when everything clicked, you're watching and going, oh, crap, this is it. We were ready to celebrate. We were ready to go. And unfortunately, it just didn't work out.
If I think, I just really wish we had a couple more minutes to get back at it. I didn't want that game to end. Of course, if we were winning, I would have been like, all right, let's hurry up, go with so we can go and celebrate.
Yeah.
But I would say this. I think that loss, it really made a lot of us hungry. Excuse me, a lot of us more hungry to be great. I know the next year the guys was right back in the playoffs. And I was excited for them as well. That's another thing. Being down south, I still would check back in. I check some games now just to see what's going on. But I don't know too many guys. Is Kahari still coaching up there?
Yeah,
Montreal.
Head coach.
Montreal. Dude, how can he go to Montreal? Come back
exactly.
What are you doing, man? I'm gonna have to call Kahari. We got to change this, man.
Yeah, there was some bitter games with Montreal back then, like when you guys were turning it around. So yeah, it's kind of hard to see him.
Yeah, I really did not like Montreal. Yeah, I didn't like Montreal. I think there was a bunch of prima donnas. They're cool guys, but I just thought the squad was a bunch of prima donnas. I really didn't. I really didn't like Montreal. I love the city, by the way. Nothing against the city.
Yeah.
But the squad, I didn't like them.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, so this is I didn't like Montreal as the team. I love Archie Anderson, but I didn't like him on the field. Because I love his work ethic. He reminds me so much of Steve Smith. I don't know why, the smaller guys, the smaller receivers, always want to fight the bigger guy.
Yeah.
He had so much fight in him, so I respect him so much, but I didn't like him on the field because he was the best guy. And I was like, dude, you're not doing that today. Like seriously, you really know you're not doing that today. And, so love him to death. I just he reached out to me on Facebook. He and I will shoot a shot back and forth. So respect to Archie Anderson, man.
Nice.
Great competitor, man. But I ain't like you too much on the field, Archie.
Speaking of that, was he or who was the toughest player you faced in the CFL, quarterback, wide receiver, or even in the NFL? Who did you say was your hardest?
Oh, the toughest guy that the only guy that ever caught 2 touchdowns on me in one game was Mr. Rice. I got to call him Mr. Rice. Jerry Rice. I was like, I was just, whoa. I was just getting in the NFL. That was 96. And Jerry Rice caught me 2 touchdowns one game. 2 touchdowns one game. But, he talked to me after the game and said, young man, you're going to be great. I was like, what? You just beat me for 2 freaking touchdowns. I'm going to be great, man. I might get cut after this game. What are you talking about? But, he was like, he was just like, you play hard, and he didn't realize how fast I was. So he would be the toughest guy in the NFL that I've seen. I guess CFL, the CFL, I had Milton. I had to see Milton practice all day long.
Yeah.
I had to see him Milton. We put a lot of hours in. I love my receiving crew. Our receiving crew was awesome. Even when we had G-Roy down here, down in Winnipeg with us.
Oh.
I had a great bunch of guys. So I really, no disrespect to any other receivers out there, but I didn't fear any of them. Yeah, I really didn't. And I really felt that any starting receiver or star receiver you put in front of me, they weren't going to do anything. My boy Mookie, you know what I'm saying? I got to respect Mookie too. You know, he was a tough competitor. But it wasn't no one that I sat down and said, okay, I got my work really, really cut out for me. You know, I just felt that positive in my skills, you know, and I was like, well, line them up. You line them up, I'm going to shoot them down. And a lot of them lined up. And yeah, I shot them all down. I'll say that. I'll probably go get some backlash, but they're going to call me back and be like, JB, you know I got you on this. Well, you might have got me once, but you didn't score. I don't think I gave up any touchdowns if I was playing man-to-man. I really feel that way. I'm going to go back and look at that. Wow. I think I won. I think I won all my battles. I think I won. Yeah. Let's just say for right now, I won all my battles.
Yeah. Right. I'll buy that.
There you go.
There's no one here that can dispute it.
No. It's just seems like watching.
But I will say this. I got a lot of respect for every receiver that I played against because they gave me everything. Gave me different looks. I know I got a chance to play against Bo Richter when he was up here, you know, up there as well. But, you know, Travis Moore, he was a good guy. Davis from up there and Jock Climby, you know, all of them, they're going to shoot their shot. They shot. They may get me a play. They may not get me a play, but it was nothing that I was more fearful of. You know, no disrespect to their athletic ability, but then here it is. I got to come down south and smaller field and ball comes out quicker and I got to go see Randy Moss, you know, T.O. I got to go.
Yeah.
You see a little difference.
Oh, yeah.
Love the guys, love them, but these guys will rat up on you, man. And one move and you're 38 out the gate. That's touchdown. So I will say this with the CFL, I was able, with my size and speed, I was able to make a mistake maybe earlier in the down, but in the later down, my speed and my toughness would have got me back into play. NFL, you don't have that opportunity. You miss a jam at the line of scrimmage, it's over.
Gone.
Yeah. It's over. So thank you, CFL, for having those rules. I needed those. I needed that. NFL, I can't miss. I miss a jam at the line of scrimmage. Man, I look like one of those 13-year-olds trying to play a grown man game. It is man. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. But I will say this though. When we get a chance to, I've been lobbying for this for a very long time, that the NFL need to adapt to the CFL game, and we may see a 100-point game. That's all I'm gonna say. I really feel that. Yeah. Well, heck, we about to get there now because there's no real football right now, no more.
Ain't let to hit people. Yeah. No, you're talking truth.
No
you're
touching those
truth.
receivers now.
But yeah, listen, I just don't understand it, man. I don't understand it.
Yeah. You talking about bringing the CFL field to the NFL as well? You want that big field and the motion? All right,
listen, that
might be crazy.
That would be something, and I mean, I tell guys, I had this conversation with a lot of guys. You know, the opportunity to be there and learn the game. Can you imagine Randy Moss coming at you at that halfback position? Down, come on, man. That is scary. There's no listen. Bo Richter was tough in that slot. You know, any receiver coming down at you and you have to dictate where he's going, that is tough on you. So if you guys with just a tad bit more talent, you know, not knocking nobody's talent in the CFL, just a tad bit more talent, tad bit faster, man, that is scary. That is scary.
Yeah.
Because I feel like anybody who has a running start and you stationary, I can't start backpedaling by the time you're coming at me. You know, you just go to stop. It's no way you can win in that.
Yeah.
They'll be dropping the bombs every freaking day.
Imagine Tyreek Hill on this madness.
He's gone.
I would quit. Tyreek Hill coming at you full speed off the line.
That's not fair.
Right.
Oh,
the life of a DB is never fair to us.
That's true. That's
the funny part about it. But I would love to see someone. I'm sure we got someone up in Canada right now has some similar speed to Tyreek.
I'm sure there's a couple of receivers up here that can.
Lucky
Whitehead's pretty fast. Lucky White. Oh, he was. Yes, I remember Lucky Whitehead. Yeah, where is he playing now? He's in BC. He just signed a contract for $200,000.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Look, he's getting my money, my old money. Then, like, yeah. Nah, they make that for them. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. But that's good, man. And that's another thing. I'm glad to see that the guys are starting getting bigger contracts up there. I mean, it's well deserved because you could make a great career in the CFL. I told guys plenty of times, if I had the opportunity to be financially set the way I am now, playing through the NFL, I would have stayed. I would have never left Canada. The game just, to me, was more, it was just set up just for me. I love the game, the CFL game. And I still don't understand the punting, the kicking out the end zone and kick it back to me and I'm gonna kick it back. I was like, dude, I don't no. Because I might just go tackle my guy. I just don't
do that. Yeah.
Oh, that's always a classic moment in the game, kicking it back and forth.
Oh yeah. I will tell you this. I told my son's at Jackson State, so I'm repping Dion. Dion
nice.
Got my son there. So I would say this. I told my son, I want him to follow my footsteps. He's 6'3.5". You guys look out for him. Isaiah Bolden.
For sure.
Phenomenal kickoff returner, phenomenal punt returner. And pretty dang good DB, 6'3.5", look just like me out there. So he's this is his last season there. So you guys keep an eye on him, man. You might, God willing, I want him to taste the NFL, but if not, I'm sending him straight to Winnipeg.
Yeah, send him
Please
here.
Do.
We'll pick him up.
Oh yeah, they got to follow Dan Suit, man. We started there. To come back. That'll be a good story.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
That'll be a great story. I'm gonna have to talk to him. I'm gonna talk to him, like, hey, look here, man, take a year off, man, go up to Winnipeg.
Yeah, get in his ear, man. Deal with his emotion.
Don't tell him how cold it gets here, though.
Oh well, he knows.
Oh, okay.
He knows. Yeah, he knows. He's heard the stories. He heard. Listen, he's actually be here Monday. They're on spring break, so he knows. He knows.
Nice.
I'm expecting to be up there this year, by the way. So you guys look out for him. So
that'd be great.
Just a heads up.
Yeah, heads. I don't know which game yet, but I might bring a special guest. My cousin and I, we was having this conversation. Katie Williams and I was talking, and we was like, bro, we haven't been back. Like I said, I haven't even seen the new stadium. And I'm just looking over your shoulder now. I'm like, yo, that stadium do look pretty.
It is.
I got. They would go back to old Grateful there. So I was like, man, I definitely got to get up there. And I still keep in contact with a couple of people. I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to do it this year, and just set it up. So I'm gonna reach out to you guys, let you know when I'm coming.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be fantastic.
And maybe we'll do a show together with Katie and I on here and pick up the pace.
That would be amazing. We'd love to have y'all. We'd love to have y'all.
Yeah, we sit back and we talk about all the good days up there in the peg, how we started, so his claim to fame, I ain't gonna say claim to fame, but his claim to getting me going is that I'm the one told you that's my cousin up there, he the fastest guy. So, I gotta hear that every time we get around people that, Katie pointed me out and I went and ran. Like, dude, yeah, you got me, people to think about me, but it really was my speed.
You still have to do the work.
So, but that's his, listen, he's sticking to it. I'm the reason, that's how I started my career, because he set it up for me. So, cuz you watching, love you, appreciate you for setting up. And 13 years later, hey, I did okay. How about that?
Yeah, we got to set it up. We got to set it up, JB and KD.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, the funny thing is his goals are no longer in his mouth. How about that?
What?
You don't have his goals anymore.
No. Why not?
Well, he has his teeth. He just took the goals off. So you guys gonna be a little disappointed. He's not wearing. He's gonna be a little disappointed. He's not gonna have all the gold teeth right now.
The grills ain't there no more.
We old now, man. I'm 47 right now, man. Look at all these gray hairs.
Hey, if he wants to wear the grills on the show, he can wear the grills on the show. It's all good. It's all good.
You know what? I'm gonna tell him to go find a pair. He don't listen. The funny thing is, he had his dreads. I was growing my dreads, and he had goals. Well, no goals. I didn't. I love my teeth. I love my teeth. Actually, that was one of the reasons I was successful. My smile.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
My God!
You mentioned Cal Murphy. You mentioned Dave Ritchie.
Yes.
And strictly coaching, nothing personal about what just happened in the NFL, but what was it like to be coached by John Gruden, to be in a system, to be around him? Again, nothing to do with what happened in Las Vegas and that, but
yes,
him as a coach.
I understand that. I'll tell you this, John Gruden, I was grateful to have an opportunity to play with John Gruden. I didn't would not even bringing up anything outside of that. He was a good coach to me. He was a good coach. He was a guy who was like, if you're with John, he's with you. And John, he had a lot of respect for me and vice versa. He wanted the best out you. He's a very forceful guy. He want to win. He wants to win. And that Chucky stare is serious. He can intimidate some. Ones he could intimidate, he's going to intimidate. I mean, I think any coach got that power over somebody. Be like, all right, get this kid going. Some guys are coached different. Some need somebody to kick them in the butt a little bit. So really enjoyed coaching, being coached by John Gruden. That coaching staff was phenomenal. I had Monty Kiffin as the head, as the D coordinator. Mike Tomlin, which is Pittsburgh head coach, he was my secondary coach. Raheem Morris was the assistant secondary coach. Joe Barry was the D coordinator in Green Bay. He was the linebacker coach. We had a list of guys from that tree that's still coaching right now. That's great for us. And they were young guys. They were hungry. A couple of guys were right at my age at that time, a little bit older, a little bit younger. And it made it easy for us. Only thing we just hated that first year I was in Tampa was that I might be in the record books again at where we were. We're the first team to have a team under 100-something yards, right at 100-something yards in a playoff game. We lost to Washington. We lost them on. I could not believe that. We held them. We kicked their butt the whole game and lose the game. Defensively, we was crushed. That was the closest chance I had to get into deeper in the playoffs or getting close to a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. So I was devastated. That was my first year here. But John is a very, very strong-minded, very strong-willed, pretty cool dude. I have nothing negative to say about him. Even with me not finishing my career the way I wanted to down in Tampa, nothing negative against the Tampa Bay organization. Been my hometown, saying the favorite team.
Amazing.
Was my favorite team till Falcons, drafted me. And so I kind of consider myself, everyone say, well, what's your favorite team? I say, well, I really don't have a favorite team. I'm a Falconeer Bomber.
Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna put that on the shirt.
Yeah, I'm a Falconeer Bomber. So that's just next thing you know, we popping up everywhere. Falconeer Bomber, that is. But John Gruden, he's one of those guys that you want to keep close in certain wars because he knows his game. He knows it. Even though things don't always work out the way it should, but. I don't know what really took place with that situation, and I'm not going to make any comments on that. But I wish him well. I have no negative, nothing bad to say about it. I mean, I don't think anyone who really knows him probably would have too much negative to say. But some things I believe is maybe said and taken out of context. So you got to weigh it like So
yeah, bro.
Wish him well. I think the society is getting a little too sensitive on a lot of things, and no disrespect to anyone who's been harmed by anything, but I think we're just getting a little too sensitive about certain situations, and that's gonna be my point on that.
No, fair point. And we asked about John Gruden because he is such a great NFL coach, arguably a Hall of Fame career, and he's such a character of who we see on TV, and it's just interesting that you got to play under such an intense coach and such a great character.
Well, I mean, he wants to win. I think every coach wants to win, but he really wants to win. He's animated. He's just animated. He just, he reminds me of a tougher John Glanville. If you guys remember John Glanville, and that is the coach who I never got a chance to play for, but I always wanted to play for John Glanville. I was a fool. If he ever got a chance to coach, I would have been in heaven. I was like, that was the guy. But then, hey, I had Cal Murphy and Mr. Richie, Dave.
Not bad.
Hey, those my guys right there. So I had some pretty good coaches throughout my career.
Yeah.
Who was it in 07? It was Doug Barry, right?
Doug Barry, yeah.
Yeah.
He was real laid back and cool. He was cool, man. He'll give me a stare every now and then when I did something I wasn't supposed to. But he really, he kind of just let me go ahead and shuffle my own deck sometimes. But he demanded his respect, which he always, that's one thing. I'm gonna give you the respect that you deserve. I don't believe in give me my respect. I won't respect you. No, I'm gonna give you your respect. You're in the head position, so you automatically got my respect. Good guy. Yeah. He wanted more from me, and unfortunately, the old wheels couldn't come up the par like I really wanted them to. And I'll take responsibility of that because I kind of didn't take care of my body as like I should have. I didn't get a real off-season workout like I normally would the year before because, I was contemplating whether just to go ahead and hang them up. But then, talk to my dad for my father passed. Like you always say, you're going to go back and finish. Mm-hmm. And got on the phone with Brendan Tatum, and I said Tatum. Brendan, don't my bad, bro. You're still my brother. I know you're gonna check it out. Brendan and we, we got together and came up with the idea. Man, I'm gonna come on back, and that was that, man. It was just timing. And then my son was being born that year, so I had to leave and go be a dad. So that was an awesome year, and we still made it to the Grey Cup, man. And I was excited about that. I couldn't play. That crushed me. I think I had a video of me and he had me sitting on the sideline of my head. Just see me like, dang. And make it so bad, it was the last play of the finals.
The Eastern Final. Yeah.
I could not believe that, dude. They throw a deep ball. I'm just running, try to make sure I knock it out of bounds and pop. Felt like somebody shot me.
Jeez. Yeah, that game left us with a few injuries.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin Glenn, too.
Jay Glenn. You know what? And in all honesty, excuse me, and that's did well. I think he's up there coaching now in Toronto.
Dinwiddie, right? Yeah, he's in Toronto. Yeah. Head coach.
Dinwiddie, he's the head coach there?
Yeah.
Oh, Witty. That's my buddy there. I would tell you this, that not only did if he did a great job. He did a great job. I believe that we could have got it done with him, yes. Even with me out being on the defense, I still felt we had a shot to win. Mm-hmm. But if K. Glenn plays, our chances just went a little bit higher, to being thrust in that position in such a high volume game. And I mean, he was ready for it. I don't think the moment wasn't too big for him, but I just felt that, if he had probably 2 games in, it would have propelled him to a big game on that. But he still had a decent game, offense. I think we didn't go as far as we would have went with the, game planning and all that, but we had a run. We had another good run. So I guess anytime you got Mr. Bolden in the city, we're going to see a Grey Cup. Huh?
Yeah.
Grey Cup is deep in the playoffs.
Huh? So were you saying you coming back for another run? Is that what you're saying?
Listen, I'll come back to make sure you guys okay. I don't know if I can get on that field anymore, man. I think I got one good play in me, and it better be something quick. I might come in and tackle somebody. That's about it. Other than that, man, listen, these kids out here today are too fast right now, man. This is a different speed generation, man. It's a different game, but I'll let them have it. And y'all, I can tell you which play he might run. Other than that, I'm not getting out.
Wow. Ray, you wanted to ask Toronto about Kerwin Bell.
Oh, that legendary.
Are you guys serious? Are you going to bring that up?
No, we don't want to talk about Kerwin Bell. It's just that, we see it all the time on replays and bloopers of this guy. And you got the nice little shove at the end. I was just wondering, because I'm sure y'all know each other in the CFL very closely. So was there anything leading up to that, for that trash talk for him, or anything said afterwards?
Okay, when you the guy on the defense, secondary guy, you're gonna get a lot of shots at you. But it was nothing led up to that. I just happened to be standing there, and I don't even think he said anything. Yeah, it was just that he was gesturing in front of you, and so I'm like, hold on, man, you just scored, and you're gonna try to, So it wasn't. And be honest, it wasn't even an aggressive push. It was just me really. Yeah, it was a push. Nobody likes to be showed up. And, I pride myself. I hate anybody scoring on us. The guys on the sideline to tell you that don't like being scored up. I don't like us scoring, especially when I think that game was kind of, up and down. And I was like, coming back, we still was getting back in the groove where it was. And Kerwin scored because he was with us, and then he went over to Toronto.
Yeah.
And, Kerwin, that's the guy, man. We both Florida boys, so it was okay. It was okay, but then he just did that. It was like, man, come on, get out of here. And, God don't like ugly. That's why, both balls was touched.
Yes. Yes, exactly. He got what he got. He got what he had coming.
And I had to apologize to Tommy Europe because he didn't see it coming and he got caught in it too. If you went to Kermit, when I pushed Kermit Bell, and then Tommy Europe was standing with his back turned, and he's like, "What the heck just happened?"
That's still
matter of fact, shout out to my boy Tommy Europe, man. I didn't realize how valuable my buddy was, man. He was a great safety for us, man.
Yeah,
great Canadian safety. Yeah,
man, sure. Great safety.
So what are you currently up to now? Are you still in football at all, doing anything like that, or?
Man, I literally just finished. I went back down to Mississippi Delta, my community college. I coached for a while. My body's broke down, fellas. 13 years, 6 surgeries later. So pretty much not back on the field, anything. I'm letting my son take care of that. Was gonna get out there and coach with my son, but I chose not to. So right now I'm in the process of opening restaurants. I have one down here that a good friend of mine owns that called Rose Bar here in Tampa. That I just moved back down here and becoming a part of that as well. So if you're ever in Tampa, come check me out. Rose Bar Tampa.
Right on.
Doing a little plug and everything. So I know.
Yeah.
So and then me and my brother got something else coming up soon. So I'm back home being a good dad, being supportive. I told my son that I'm gonna make sure I be at all his games because he used to travel as much as he can. He didn't get a chance to come across the border, but he was at majority of all my games in any city I played in. So it's not his dad's turn.
Right on.
Made some smart investments here and there. So I'm okay.
That's good. That's good.
If Winnipeg want to throw a couple of extra 100,000 to it, I ain't really mad. All money is good money.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, before we let you go, and of course we can't thank you enough for joining us today, and Bomber Nation will be absolutely delighted to hear from you. And when you come up here, we'll be delighted to see you. Yes. But before we leave, we're going to do something called Quick Shots. We're going to ask you some questions, and whatever comes to mind, just lay it out, and we'll see what comes out. It's all clean. Don't worry. It's all good. Ready to go?
Let's go.
Favorite restaurant that you in Winnipeg when you played here?
Oh, wow. The favorite one I went. Oh, I'm sorry, Perkins.
That's
it was right there.
It was it. Perkins. I ate Perkins probably like twice a day sometimes. That was the spot.
Sounds good. Good.
No. What was the one in the mall? It was in the mall upstairs.
Moxie's
Park Mall.
Was it Moxie's there?
Yes.
Moxie's.
Yeah.
Moxie's.
That's a good spot.
That was my spot. Yes.
All right. Weirdest nickname that you've come across on a teammate?
Oh, wow. Who had the weirdest nickname? Well, they called me Big Stick when I first got down to Atlanta. That was my name. So I guess my name was kind of, I was a hitter. So it was Big Stick.
Yeah. All right.
And, Ironhead Haywood, I played with him. You know what I'm saying? So, and dude, matter of fact, his head was the size of somebody's back. So that dude had to, I guess it would be Ironhead.
Yeah. Just like his
Rest
son.
in peace, Ironhead.
His son has a big head too, Cam Hayward.
Yes. And the funny thing, I see the kid on TV, man, I just shake my hand like, dude, like I used to wrestle with you when you was a kid. Like, dude, you was, he was a big kid. I'm like, yo, like, dude, can you? So great guy.
Favorite NFL city to play in?
Oh, ATL.
Favorite CFL city to play in?
The Peg.
Least favorite CFL city to play in?
Hamilton. I don't like you guys in Hamilton. Let me stop. No, Montreal. Sorry, Montreal.
All right.
Love Montreal, the city, but not the team.
If you were in a dark alley in a big situation, which ex-teammate would you want having your back?
Ooh. Well, I definitely gonna have my cousin KD Williams, Lamar McGriggs, and Jeff Blake. Not Jeff, Eddie Blake. Eddie Blake, excuse me.
Eddie,
Blake.
Big Eddie. Talk about big heads,
Yeah, Eddie Blake. That guy would, you'll be nervous about that.
Yeah,
and I just, I had to have, I can't leave my boy out. I got, he passed away. Let me see. Oh man, he was Darren Watson. He was number 26 in 95. You know what I'm saying? He was our roommate. It was KD, myself, and D Watson. Yes, D Watson. So that was my ride or die guys. We was in the peg. So
respect.
Hey, that's my crew.
That's a good crew. That's a good crew.
I'll take that battle to anybody.
I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't take it all on. I'll watch.
Yeah.
But again, thank you so much for joining us. Absolute honor, absolute pleasure. All the memories that you left here in that stadium, they still live on YouTube, so check them out.
I'm gonna find some.
JB, you got anything to say to Bomber Nation? Anything to say to the people?
Well, first off, Winnipeg, Bomber Nation, I'm so grateful for the opportunity that you guys allow me to grace that field. Love you guys. Thank you for supporting me for so many years. And I do look forward to coming back to hang out with you guys, continue the great success. One day, maybe I can get my face enshrined in the Peg Hall of Fame, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I know I'm gonna get there. I got to get there.
Yeah.
But I know I'm just grateful for you guys, man. I really appreciate the opportunity to play in a beautiful city. And like I said, look forward to seeing you, and thank you guys for so much beautiful memories. Good, bad, and the ugly. They still was beautiful memories. So thank you guys so much. Love you guys. Till next time.
Yeah, thanks a lot for coming on. We had a blast, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, man. And then anytime, let's do it again. But like you said, when I get to Winnipeg this season, we're gonna have a great time.
Yeah, let us know for sure.
Yeah, will do, man. Guys, thank you so much, man. You have a great night.
You too.
Thanks
a lot,
so much.
Right.
Friends and neighbors, be kind, be safe, help each other out. Hey, friends and neighbors, don't forget to check us out online on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Ray Benny Sports. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. Leave a like, leave a comment, tell us what you think.